Oh, here we go.
Now, yeah,
Okay.
something's happening.
Oh. Are we back?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, there's the game. And Richard, we can actually see you cutting on monsters.
Excellent. Oh, jeez.
All right. Hello, everyone. We're back. So if you missed the very beginning of the stream, before we had to be interrupted, we are playing Van Helsing, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 2 by Neocore Games. Neocore's community manager, Orshitov, is joining us today. And yes, Bleeding QQ, your name is now pink in the chat. Be proud! Be proud of the new color of your name. Richard Mitchell, Joystiq's Reviews Content Director, is playing for the very, very first time. And as we play, we're going to be giving away Steam keys for the Van Helsing series, generously provided by Neocore. We have one for Van Helsing 2, and we will be giving that away at the end of the stream. But in the meantime, we have a few for Van Helsing 1, the complete pack, which has all kinds of fun stuff added on to it. And yeah, just keep an eye out in the chat for those to show up. Those might just appear out of the blue, because that's how we do things.
You know,
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to mention is that at E3 this year, it seems like there are so many games coming out that sort of have a similar setting to Van Helsing, and the original Van Helsing came out quite a while ago, but these sort of pseudo-Victorian monster hunting games, it seems like they're everywhere now. You've got The Hunt coming out, there was The Order, 1866, which I find kind of fascinating.
And not only that, but even From Software, the Dark Souls guys, Bloodborne for PlayStation 4 is very much in that sort of Victorian Gothic horror vein. Orshi, is the Gothic Victorian horror style, not to get into too much detail, but is that profitable? Is that like a thing that people want? Is that why Neocore was like, you know what? Like you were saying, like Van Helsing's a recognizable name. And is that like were you like, you know what, this is something that is interesting to us, it's something that people are responding to, let's go for it. What was the sort of, what drew the team to that style?
Well, actually, Van Helsing started out as something totally different. The first concept was a console game for kids, actually.
Really?
And but that was the very, very first concept. Well, it has gone through a lot of changes, obviously. And yeah, after a while, we just decided that we're better at this kind of game and this kind of setting, so we decided to go with this.
Well, I am fascinated now. I've got to hear more about this. So what was the kids' console game? Was it the same style?
It started out as a Nintendo game.
Really?
Yes.
For
Yes,
for the Wii or the 3DS or the Wii U?
Well,
One of them.
yes.
One of those.
I don't even know. I was not at the company when this concept was born.
Understood.
And yeah, we didn't really work on this game before, because we were working on our previous game, so it was really just a concept that came up as a future game idea. And then we just decided to make a PC game out of it. And at first we had a manga character, really a blonde guy. Actually, he was he was looking like a girl with glowing big eyes and so on and so on. But our community didn't really love it. But at the announcement, we had arts for that character. But the community just said that they don't want a Fun Helsing like this. They want Fun Helsing as a tough monster hunter. So we let our community decide which of our 3 new character models they want to choose for the game. And they chose the Mysterious Hunter. So that is why we had this character. And of course, after the game was released, the community also wanted more classes, not just the hunters. So we also added 2 more classes as DLCs for the first game, and now they are in the sequel by default.
So I'm really curious how, that sort of process of seeing how people played Van Helsing 1 informed 2. Like you're talking about how, these new characters got added in as DLC. What other ways did, listening to what fans wanted shape 2?
Yeah, we had a very active communication with our community after the game was released, the first game. Mm-hmm. And first of all, they wanted more classes. They in the original game there were no never-ending story mode, which now we have. It's like a new game plus. And we didn't have scenario modes after, so you didn't really have options to do after you have beaten the game. We added those for the complete pack as free DLCs so it was patched up for everyone. And for the sequel, we introduced a lot of things, like we gave more options to spend your money, because in the first game it also came as a problem that you couldn't really spend your money. So we implemented the room crafting system. I was just mentioning it before, where you are able to disassemble your items into fragments, and then you can use the fragments to create rooms, and then you can use the rooms to create brand new items. And all this process and every step of this process takes your money. And we also improved the enchanting system, so now you can change even the existing enchantments on your items, and you can see if it's the maximum value for that item or not, so you can try as long as you want. And it also tells you what is the minimum and the maximum value for that item, so you can really see if your item is maxed out or not.
Orshi, I'm fascinated by your perspective on sort of culling, community feedback and seeing what people want. How do you balance, because you act as the interface between the people playing and the people making the game, and how do you look at something that the players seem to be clamoring for? We want more ways to spend our money, and say, bring that back to the team, and they say, well, maybe that won't make the game better. People say they want that, but it might not make the game better. How do you sort of figure out what's really something that that the community not only wants but will benefit from in changing the way the game is made?
Well, yeah, we are actually players ourselves,
yeah.
And it's a very easy thing for us, because if we think it would do well for the game, then we implement it, and if we think that it's not going to be good, then we don't do it. Of course, there are 40 people now at Neocore Games, so we're quite small, but not that small as we used to be. We have many different opinions, and it's really interesting when these opinions are different, or when they are the same. There's no question we will add the feature if it's doable. and when we disagree, well, of course our bosses have the final word, but yeah, we can have our say.
Is there an example of something that Neocore really wanted to get into Van Helsing 2 and just couldn't make it happen, couldn't get it into the game?
Ooh, I don't remember such thing.
That's no problem.
We added a lot of things actually, and when, well, we always try to find a way if it's really important. If we really want to add a feature, then we can find a way. Yeah, in our previous games it happened before that we wanted to add something, but it just didn't work, so we had to change it. But I don't remember that with Van Helsing.
Richard, so where are you?
I am in a dank place, killing monsters.
Yeah, this is still the tutorial part, actually. Yeah. It's the very first level. Well, it's the 0 level, actually. It is just to drive you through the interface.
So far, I've leveled up a few times. I've got some skills. I will tell you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you're playing a normal character from level 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is why you're having the basic gear.
Yes.
You can also start from level 30, actually, because you can import your level 30 character from the first game, and you can continue the adventure.
Oh. Does the game play significantly differently? I would imagine it changes quite a bit if you come in as a high-level character.
Well, yes, the monsters are obviously scaled to your level, and some features are only available for the higher level characters. I think rune crafting is one of those features.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about, like, rune crafting? So once he starts making runes, what's he going to use them for?
You can use the runes for creating new items. So, yeah, there are different runes for every enchantment. That's in the game, and there are also base runes that determines if it's going to be a magical item or a rare item or a unique item, and it also determines how many enchantments it can have. And you can, if you don't use the special enchantment runes, then it's going to be a random enchantment. But if you use the enchantment runes also, then you can determine what enchantments you want to put on the item that you are going to create.
Oh, Richard, you're going to Old Town.
It appears
yeah,
so.
now we're going to have the first level.
Orshi, I gotta tell you, I love setting somebody into a game when they have absolutely no familiarity with it. You always get a keen sense of what it's going to be like to play when you're going in and you have absolutely no idea what's going on. Richard, as a Diablo guy, how is this feeling to you?
It feels good. I'm sort of, there's a lot of stuff to wrap your head around with this kind of game, and I'm already dipping into a lot of different kinds of skills, and where are those assigned, what keys activate them. But I guess one of the things that's setting it apart from other dungeon crawlers to me right now is you do start with both your melee and your ranged weapons that are used in different ways. And it's throwing quite a few monsters at you so far. I've seen trailers for this game though, and I haven't hit a high level, a lot of monsters yet, because I've seen the huge waves of monsters in these games.
Orshi, I'm kind of loving the board game sort of layout of the map.
Yeah, we got that from a lot of people already, and I love it too. Someone also said that they're going to make this for us.
Yeah, well, as soon as the cards start popping up, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah,
those
it's-
work?
It should be a great board game. I agree.
Well, you know, I mean,
We should totally make it.
nowadays with, you know, like things like Hearthstone becoming so popular, I mean, I think it would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, I agree. I love that board game style intro video.
Van Helsing 2 is only PC and Mac right now, yes?
Yes.
And
And the first game too.
And the first game as well. Are there plans to expand back into the world of consoles that that Van Helsing was birthed from?
There are always plans.
I see. I see. That was. You know what? I love asking that question because you know the response. The PR response is, well, we're looking into things. Oh, we have nothing to announce. That was like the most coy response I think I've gotten to date. Like, oh, there are always plans. Are any of these plans close to coming to fruition?
Maybe.
I see.
Well,
I see.
yeah, I can't promise anything for now because we have to see how it works and if we can make it. And yeah, there's a lot of things to do about it. But yeah, we definitely want to bring this to consoles. But I don't know yet when or how or which consoles. So it's just not set yet.
Gotcha.
On that note, is this the PC version? Can you even play this if you're not using a keyboard and mouse? Because that's a big issue for games like this. Is that they're not necessarily adapted for like a controller.
The first game has controller support already, and we plan to add it for the sequel too, but it's not in yet.
Everyone, we're going to take a quick 30-second commercial break. Those of you who are turbo users, you're just going to stick with us. That's what's going to happen. We will see everyone else in just a moment.
And I just want to remind all you turbo users, you're the best.
You are the best.
Don't tell everyone else when they come back, but that's how I feel about you.
Richard, stop playing favorites. Stop playing favorites.
This is a very nice looking game. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, somebody in the chat a second ago says, why does this look like a PlayStation game? And I took that to be disparaging. And I'm like, what PlayStation did you have, my friend, where that the games looked like this? This is really pretty.
Thank you.
Also, and I mentioned this before we started the stream. This is actually running at 1280 by 720, and I've got. Also, you're only seeing it in 30 frames per second on the Twitch stream. This is all running in 60 FPS on my computer, which people really care about, apparently. So.
Oh, they care about the P's, my friend. They do. That is a thing that they care about. Yeah, Orshi, for complete neophytes, we did see some people talking about asking whether or not this was co-op, because the first game was co-op. You said that this is co-op, yes?
It has the same 4-player co-op, yes.
Same 4-player co-op. So what happens to Katarina when you're in co-op? Are there 4 Katarinas? Or is it just the one?
There are 4 Katarinas.
I kind of love the idea of adding in, like, a helper to do all of the stuff that... Richard, what's happening?
I'm bad at this. Okay, I'm doing better now. It's okay. There's these like guys with like magic flamethrowers, and they're just killing me. I'm gonna stay far away.
You're the hunter. You must make an impression here.
Yeah, Richard, get back in there. You put on your cool hat and you get back in there and you show them what's what.
No, you don't understand these guys. They're serious. They are not messing around.
Malo Jaeger in the chat was just actually asking about controller support, and we were talking about that. Orshi, there is no controller support right now, right?
In the sequel, there's no control support, only in the first game.
Only in the first game. And Is that something that Neocore is looking to change?
Yes, yes, we just have to develop the interface for it. Because of the newly added features, we have to change and add new things to the interface.
Yeah, I'm curious, you know, how does it, how has, and obviously you were saying that you haven't been with Neocore since before you came in after the first Van Helsing was well along into development, yes?
Well, the first Van Helsing game's concept was born many years ago.
Many years ago.
Yes, and I'm with the company for 5 years now.
5 years. How would you say that the team's development process has changed in those 5 years? Development is so different now than it was in 2009. There's a much greater expectation of audience participation in the process, and development is a much more fluid process than it used to be, where, you know, it was before, it was, we're going to release the product, then we're going to release this update then, whereas now, like, games like Van Helsing are evolving over a long period of time and incrementally. How has Neocore's process changed?
Well, our process has changed a lot over the years because we grew a lot over the years.
Oh my god, oh my god.
So in the beginning, when we started to develop our first games, there were only about 15 people at the company. Now we have 40 people, so we can do a lot more things, and yeah, we can work more quickly, and yeah, we can handle our community a lot better. So we have capacity now to really do good support for the game and to listen to a lot of feedback from our community, and we really think that it's very important.
Richard, it is not going your way in there.
I've discovered that I must run away, and then everything seems to work out after that.
Orshi, is his cowardice a viable strategy?
Yeah, of course. Every strategy is a viable strategy as long as he survives.
Orshi, something else we were talking about in the pre-show is sort of the maturation of the, you know, Eastern European video game development scene. There are a lot more games coming out of Central and Eastern Europe now compared to about 10 years ago. And I was wondering, like, what is you know, sort of the tenor of the Hungarian development scene? You know, are there a lot of development houses around? Or are they smaller, the sort of 15-man teams like Neocore used to be? What's it like?
Well, we had more studios a few years ago, but they just disappeared. For example, Black Hole Entertainment was Hungarian. They did Hero 6. And they made it. And well, we have a lot of not independent Hungarian studios like Crytek Hungary, Gameloft Hungary. But yeah, it used to be bigger in the past few years, but now it's not so big, unfortunately.
Yeah, it seemed to, you know, you mentioned Gameloft Hungary. It seemed like there was a boom in studios that were like, we are going to make mobile games. We are going to make mobile games. We're going to make iPhone games and Android games. And it seems like that is cooling off. Is that true in Hungary?
But of course.
What do you exactly mean?
I mean, has there been a retreat from mobile game development?
I have to tell you that I don't know.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. We're
not really into mobile game development. So.
Yeah. I mean, I ask because Neocore's, you know, history as a PC studio is that seems to be where, you know, the best and the brightest studios are right now. They're making PC games that might proliferate onto other platforms, but they start on PC. ARPG is what? All right,
Yeah.
I'm taking a look at the chat now and seeing if there are any questions, and everybody is saying what differentiates this from Diablo. First of all, a ghost follows you around and does stuff for you guys. That is not something that happens in Diablo, where an old man follows you around and yells at you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you some of the things I've noticed right off the bat is that I already have... I'm level 5 and I've got several skills. And I also have different modifiers for my skills. I've already got, like right here, I've got, looks like a single-use scroll that increases my attack speed for a few seconds. So it seems like, especially if you're comparing this to Diablo 3, it seems like there's a lot of nuance here that, for the sake of accessibility, they kind of removed from the Diablo series.
And you can also level up Lady Katarina, so she also has 3 different skill trees.
And she is... Oh, wow, she's been sitting here waiting for me to level her for who knows how long.
Yeah, there's a plus on her face. Or next to it.
Richard, come on, man. Did you not learn this in vampire hunting school?
And she has actually 3 forms, so she can be melee or ranged.
I noticed that.
You can also set her behavior, tell her who to attack, give her potions so she can drink it.
Okay, here we go.
And so on.
Passive skills. Oh, she gives me extra defense. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about all I can...
And she has 3 separate skill trees.
yeah, she
you
does.
can change the tab on the bottom.
So yeah, there's another big difference for you. Like you do get little helpers in like the Diablo series and stuff like that, and they have some leveling that you can do, but they certainly don't have these huge separate skill trees. This is just for my companion character. That's a lot of
And they don't
customization
have
options.
such a cheeky humor, Lady Katarina. She always has something to tell you, and not always good. A true lady, I see.
Yes, absolutely. So, what are the? You know, we have Styx Walker here who really wants to hear about some of the more mechanical aspects of the game. What are the other 2 classes like, Orshi?
We also have. So this is the hunter class.
This is the hunter.
That's playing.
And the hunter is the main class from the first game, yes?
Yes, this was the only class of the first game before the DLCs. Because we wanted to expand this one class, so the players can choose their playstyle and their skills within one class. But obviously, the community wanted to choose a class in the very beginning of the game, so we made it possible for them. So we changed our mind in the meantime. So the hunter class has 2 different ways to level. He can be melee or ranged. So that is why you have the hunter or the occult hunter, I think, separate skill trees. And the other 2 classes are the thaumaturge and the arcane mechanic. The thaumaturge is like a mage type of character with a lot of destructive spells, and he also have some mind control spells. So that's also a new specialization, and it can be really nice and a totally different play style. Opposed to the destructive type of mage, thaumaturge. And the arcane mechanic, he uses gadgets and this weird science that's everywhere in this world. And he uses flamethrowers and other these type of weapons. And he can also summon a lot of mechanical creatures.
Richard, would you end up rolling with a different class if you were going to restart right now?
I did consider the more mechanical class, not the thaumaturge, but the 3rd class, because and generally, I enjoy technological classes, like engineer kind of classes. For instance, in Torchlight, I really like the engineer class. I also like any class that gives you that follow you around, but it looks like you get that regardless in this game. So,
yeah, Lady Katarina is like the best version of that companion because, yeah, you get all of the mechanical benefits of go and do this, go and like the sort of rote cleaning up of items, etc. But she's also funny.
And there's a plus, you can have 3 of her.
You can have 3 of her?
Yes, because there's a trick. So Van Helsing not only has skills, he also have tricks and auras. Tricks are active and auras are passive bonuses. And you can also develop those tricks. And one of those tricks is making 2 extra Katarinas. And if you have a good enough cooldown reduction, then you can have that spell again before the Katarinas disappear. So then you will have 5 Katarinas.
Oh my gosh.
But that's only possible with the Thaumaturge.
Are you discovering that the people who play this game are discovering strategies that you didn't know were possible? Like, is that something that happened with so many Katarinas? Is that they were doing things that you didn't even realize?
It was discovered by one of our designers.
Okay.
And the game was changed because of that, because he was running around with 9 Katarinas and that was too much.
5 Katarinas, okay. 9, too much. You've overstepped your bounds, sir.
They did all the job for you. That's not fun.
Sure.
And actually it was very, very slow gameplay. So if you just sit back in the background and let the Katarinas do all the stuff, it's a lot slower.
Oh yeah.
It takes ages.
You just don't want ghosts to do all your dirty work for you. It's just not fun.
I'm always ready to fight, Commander.
Yeah, actually, Richard, it's interesting that you bring up Torchlight, because Torchlight is one of those games that, I have never ever fallen down the Diablo hole personally. It's never been the sort of thing that appealed to me so much that I thought to myself, I've got to play that. And Torchlight I found kind of appealing because it didn't take itself quite so seriously.
True.
But at the same time, Torchlight felt like it was missing that sort of that richness of world. That it was just like, here's the thing, you go in, you click on stuff, you click on other stuff, and you get loot, and it's fun. Like, I wanted a sort of happy medium. And Van Helsing seems like it's got a little bit of both. It's got, like, there are many things to fight. There are all these, like, nice mechanical things to sort of chew on and get your teeth into. But it's also, obviously invested in a world. Like, even your companion is a character who is developed and who has a little bit of a soul. No pun intended. So, if I were going to play an action RPG dungeon crawler for the very first time, do you think Van Helsing 2 is a place I could start?
I mean, having played it for just a few minutes, I could see that it might actually be a tiny bit overwhelming if it's your very first game. But then again, I'm also sort of wrapping my head around a lot of this stuff while trying to keep it interesting for everyone watching. But it's certainly got a lot of interesting things happening all at once. Like, it does. I don't know if you were paying attention, but I was actually running around this town telling all of these defensive positions how they should defend the city.
Cool.
And I told most of them to make rousing speeches.
So, Orshi, how is that changing the way the level plays?
You can also tell the general to give the orders for you if you don't want to bother with this. So there are a lot of things in the game that you can choose to do or not to do, and there will be someone who will do it for you. For example, this one. We also introduced the resistance management, so you will have captains who can do these things for you. And you can tell these soldiers in this level to call reinforcements from the lair or deploy a turret or something like this. And it can have an effect on how these stands will hold their ground against the enemies.
Orshi Expira here in the chat is asking about how many different sorts of environments are there. How long is Van Helsing 2? This is just the sort of first stage. How many are there? Many.
I don't know. I don't know an exact number, but there are many. Yes, and there are different settings, and not just the city, but you also go to the mountains and to the wilderness. We also have a place called Ink, and it's a imaginary world where you can enter, and everything is floating, the rocks and everything. Yeah, the game takes, depending on the playstyle, of course, it takes about 15 to 20 hours to complete.
Now, do you guys at Neocore have access to the data of how many people complete the game? Do you see that feedback from Steam?
Well, I don't.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that's the sort of statistic that you're asked to send out to the masses or not.
No.
No.
No, but we can see something from the achievements for sure. So we have those kind of achievements that are related to the story progression. So we can see if there's a very rare achievement from the end of the story, then we can see that not a lot of people complete the game. But if it's not a rare achievement, then we can see that it's usually completed.
Orshi, I'm really curious, what are the challenges of getting a new audience for a game like this? How do you, in your role at Neocore, say, all right, well, we've had this success with the first Van Helsing, here's how we're going to translate that to, getting an even bigger, wider audience with 2. How do you find that new crowd? How do you keep expanding?
Well, that's a tough question.
I can't imagine that it's an easy answer either. That's the grand mystery of getting a game out into the world.
Yeah, our fans helped us a lot to get new people in after the first game, and yeah, we continue what we did for the first game. So we played a lot with our concurrent games like Diablo and Torchlight, and yeah, we tried to get those people who were most interested in action RPGs to get to know our game too. If that was the question.
No, that's quite a good answer. Richard, what are you doing at this point besides?
Let's see. Right now, I just told them they should blow up a bridge. I think I have to help them do that. I also have to find some engineers to help set up some new defenses, I think. And I've also added several upgrades to Katarina, who can now freeze enemies that she hits, which is very handy. And I have upgraded mostly my health so far, which seems to be helping a lot. And I'm shooting lightning at people from my sword.
You do seem to be dying a little bit less.
I have not died once, thank you very much. I've come very close to death several times, but I've not actually died yet.
I can also tell you that you also have a trick that can stop time with the Hunter.
Oh, do I?
Richard,
Yeah, you
stop time.
I don't know how.
It's called Sphere of Timelessness, and it's on the tricks tab on your skill tab.
Okay. Oh, I don't think I've unlocked that.
No.
Perhaps I should have.
Well, you have a lot of choices.
Yes, you certainly do.
God, Richard, there are a lot of guys coming after you.
Yes, there are, and
There are, yeah, they are not happy.
I'm actually handling this okay. Oh, it looks like Katarina has actually died.
Wait a second.
Well, she has fled momentarily.
Orshi, is that what happens? Does Katarina just say, "I'm out of here, I'm leaving"?
Well, she die, well, she can't die. She's already dead. But yeah, if her hit points are out, then yes, she just returns to the afterlife, visiting some relatives, and then comes back after a while.
Yeah, I was just helping this guy out, killing a bunch of monsters, but it got hectic. I'm leaving. I'm done.
Yeah, but I love one of her skills, especially. I don't know its name, but it makes Katarina explode when she dies.
I like that as well.
And
already.
that does huge damage, but really huge, in a large area, and I like it a lot. So I never give her potions because I want her to die. And there are also some perks that you can unlock after you gain some reputation, and one of the perks will reduce the time that Katarina needs to return to the fight. And these two things combined can result in some very cool things.
God.
So she returns quickly, and she does a lot of damage when she dies, and that's just a cool combo.
Yeah, I like that. I like the sound of that a lot.
Richard, don't just intentionally kill the ghost girl. That's not nice.
Well, I don't have an incentive to do it yet. She doesn't explode.
Come on, she can't die. She's already dead.
Yeah, I mean, what does she care? Let's see.
Let her visit her relatives. Don't be a tyrant.
Is she like, I mean, how is Katarina being compensated for her time is the other question. Is she... What is she getting out of this for helping Van Helsing out? Is she just a thrill seeker?
She's bound to the Van Helsing family by magic.
Ah, got it.
Oh, a new hat.
You will learn more about her in the third part. So it's a trilogy.
Oh.
We never wanted to hide this, that it was developed as to be a trilogy from the very
I've
beginning.
equipped one of the hats from Strange Brew. I'm wearing a flappy ear winter hat. So.
Nice.
But it's better than my previous hat, according to the menu. So. Oh my God! This thing just encased me in skeleton hands. Oh.
Wait, whoa, what?
Yeah, you'll see it in a second.
Skeleton hands. But how?
Whew.
Yes, Cirrus 654, yes, Fargo style. Oh yeah, those are giant skeleton hands. Or how close is Richard to the end of this first stage, do you know?
I've got a lot of missions still to complete from...
Yeah.
Well, he's around the middle of the first level.
Richard, pick up the pace, man. Come on.
No, it's an extremely long level.
I'm also...
So it's a complete siege.
As Orshi mentioned earlier, there's a lot of tasks I'm doing that I actually could let the computer handle for me.
Yeah, this is also an optional task that you're doing now.
Yeah.
Now, do you, like, Richard, are you doing that just because you're like, I want to see everything there is to see, or are you doing it compulsively, just because you're used to it?
I mean, yeah, a little from column A, a little from column B.
A little from column A, a little from column B. Arbitrium, this is not still the tutorial. This is just the first section, the first level of the game. First chapter of the game? Oh, it's the same thing.
Well, the first chapter has, of course, more levels, not just this. But yeah, so it has 3 chapters, but a lot of levels.
Okay.
Richard, how are you shutting down these pods that open up? Are you doing something?
Oh, they're just filled with baddies that I am murdering.
That's it. You don't have to do something to just make them go away. You just kill everything that comes out.
Yes, that's the gist of it. Oh, there's another one. I'm just killing these things as they come out. These pods, they have the portal to what Orshi was calling the ink, sort of like another realm of sorts, and these monsters are just hopping right out of it. I'm actually jumping into all these defensive lines and still telling them what to do.
Did you know that Van Helsing also has a tower defense minigame?
Does it now?
Yeah. Oh, it had, the first game had it too.
Okay.
But it got a lot of improvements for the sequel. And we have more tower defense levels now, but you can skip them if you don't want this. So you can leave that to your captains if you don't want to do that. But I think they are really, really fun. I like them.
Man, tower defense is one of those things that I enjoy so much in theory. And then when I start playing them, I remember that I'm awful at them.
But it's not just tower defense, it's like in the Orcs Must Die series, so you can go and slash the monsters too. So it's not just the towers.
Yeah, I spent years ago far too much time with desktop defense, I think it was called. I spent a lot of time with that, and I've actually spent quite a bit of time with Orcs Must Die as well, so...
Oh god, yeah, desktop defense. Man, I lost hours of my life when that started making the rounds years ago. And I just didn't make any progress. I just sat there throwing my head against the wall.
I think I was actually working here at the time and knew full well that I should be writing more than I was. I was spending a little too much time with it. But I have the same, actually dungeon crawlers, I have the same issue with games that are in this style, and that it's very easy to play them longer than you intended to.
Mm. Yeah, the longer than intended to seems to be like the mark of a quality game. That's, if you look at the clock and you're like, oh, that was a pleasant half hour that I just did, and then you look up and it's 4 in the morning, and you're still playing. That is the...
Just to give people an idea of sort of the level of complexity here, like what I just did to take out that huge group of like giants was activated a scroll that increases my rate of attack for about 10 seconds, and then just started laying into all of them with my active lightning skill, which helped me take them down when normally they would have killed me pretty quick. That's one thing that's hard to convey when you're just watching a game like this, is how much the player is actually doing. Because it doesn't always look like they're doing very much, but I'm actually activating a lot of different skills at different times right now.
Oh, it's incredibly hard to nail that balance in like an action RPG of making you feel like you're engaged and making you feel like you're sending something out to just sort of do your bidding.
Right. I'm supposed to be doing something here, but I'm not sure what.
A thing!
Yes.
Kill the giants. That seems to be a strategy that's working.
The engineer is with you, right?
Oh, I think I found the engineer. Maybe I didn't.
So there are 3 slots that he has to deactivate.
Oh, I see.
So your job here is to blow up the Ornithopter factory, and then your soldiers will face less of these monsters.
Oh, okay.
I
had to clear the path for him. Here he comes.
Yeah.
He was scared.
He was just nervous about the giants that were running at you all the time.
These little helicopter things, by the way, I think that is the concept art I was showing you before of the floating, the helicopter warthogs, which the game calls calls them ornithopters, which is wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just a couple of minutes left here on Joystiq Streams this Tuesday. Richard, are you going to keep playing Van Helsing too?
I'd like to. It's fun.
Yeah?
I'd like to actually... I can't really hear it because I have to turn the volume down so much, but I want to get some more of that personality that I'm missing. But I really... Like, the amount of stuff that's happening right now is pretty amazing.
It makes you want to keep fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Orshi, is there anything else that you would like to let people know about the game? Anything that we forgot to ask that you'd like to illuminate?
Well, I think we covered most of the things. The resistance management, the tower defense part, the room crafting, and the improved enchanting. Well, we also have a trophy hole, but it's a smaller thing that you can activate trophies that give general modifiers to the world. So it strengthens you, but also strengthens your enemies. And you can have a pet. Additionally,
really?
Beside Katarina, yeah, the Chimera. You will find your Chimera in the Crystal Workshop level. It's an ink level, and if you can find him, then you will have him for a lifetime. And he can go hunting for you, looting for you, and you can also summon him for battle.
I like all of those things.
Well, Orshi, thank you again for taking some time. Everybody out there, Orshi is in Hungary, and it's the middle of the night, and she stayed up to hang out on the stream with us. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you again.
Thank you for inviting me.
And everybody, we will see you on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're actually going back to the well. We are playing Mario Kart 8 again on the stream, but this time is going to be different. It is going to be Joystiq versus Engadget on Mario Kart 8. It's going to be us against freaking Engadget. We're going to put those iPhone-obsessed freaks in their place. That's how it's going to go, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm going to take that Ben Gilbert, and I'm going to show him what's what.
And knock him down a peg.
I'm going to get him right in the beard. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, everybody, so tune back in. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Follow Joystiq on Twitter and on Facebook and Google+. We are actually on Google+. That is still a thing. You can search for Joystiq with a Q at all of those places. And go to neocoregames.com and check out what these guys are doing. And, you know, you can go there for news on the third Van Helsing that will be coming into the future. And you can follow Neocore Games on Twitter as well. It's just twitter.com/Neocore Games. Yeah, until next time, folks.
Yes, my defense is held.
Victory for you and your cool hat, Richard.
Yeah, let's. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm really good at this game. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in on my guy so everyone can see his hat while we leave. Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We will see you in a couple of days. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.